Law 38. Think as you like, but behave like others. And this is a law that has never been more applicable because I feel like you see those memes on X like every single day where it's like literally 1984 and there's a headline of something that's straight out of the book that's happening. And as we move more and more into a digital age and a social age and there's more and more cameras around, like it seems like less and less we're allowed to express ourselves. And the more unique our ideas, the more likely we are to be hated on them for our ideas. And we live in a society. Yeah, I just brought up that meme. No, I'm just. We live in a society where like you're not allowed to speak your mind. If you have a certain political leaning or a certain political opinion and you're in the wrong setting, like that will literally just ignite every single person's ego. And it's so much better to in a corporate setting just fit in. Like you don't want to stand out. You don't want to let people know that like you actually have a functioning brain, that you actually think things rationally instead of picking one of two sides. And it's never been more important, at least for me, to really conceal the things I do because I live in a world where like I'm literally walking on eggshells at all times. Like people will talk to me about political issues and they'll know nothing about the Constitution, and then I can either school them for 2 hours or I can let them teach me about what's going on. And it's just like it's the most frustrating thing, but at the same time, like I say one thing that person doesn't like and I get sent to HR. So it, you can think whatever you want, but you need to be sure that you can conceal your intentions, that you can conceal your actions, that you aren't doing anything that's going to get you noticed, especially in the corporate world, because I hate to say it, but like you have to be fake. You have to play the role. You have to be an actor in the largest play, which is the public. And whatever you do behind closed doors, whatever you do in your own home, by all means do it. But when you get in that public sphere, like it only takes one mess up. It only takes you saying the wrong thing one time for your career to be over. And it's something that we really need to start considering. And I don't want it to be this way, but this is just the way it is. Like this is the way it's always been. Like if you don't conform, you will be pushed out. If you don't follow the party line, if you don't just act in the best interest of the company, even if it means hurting individuals, like you're gone. And is it really worth you losing your job? Is it really worth your family going hungry because you made the wrong decision? Like, I mean, it might be, but all I can say to you is like, for the time being, you have to play the role. For the time being, you have to hide your actions. You have to act like everybody else. You have to be part of the collective, because until you can establish yourself enough to, create your own career, create your own business, or be your own boss, like you have to exist in society. You have to curtail what you say so that your boss keeps paying you and you don't lose your job because of your ideas, because there's ideas that were held 20 years ago that if you express now, you literally will be ostracized from society. And it's kind of crazy that we live in a so-called free country where things like this are allowed to happen, but it's just the way things are going. And if you don't like it, just shut up for now. Just shut up until you get to the point where you can say whatever the fuck you want, where you don't rely on a boss, where you don't rely on anybody else, where you eat what you kill. And it's like, until you get to that level, that's what you have to do. And the reason I'm giving you this advice and the reason why I feel it feels like I'm talking from my experience is because I am. Like literally my only goal right now is to become self-employed. My only goal right now is to only rely on myself, because I hate conforming. I hate acting like everybody else for the sake of acting like everybody else. Like I think through every single thing I do, every single thought I have. I'm so introspective. I understand everything on such a deeper level, and it's frustrating that I have to conform to either the left or the right or just toe the party line. And it's like, I want to be my own individual, but I haven't set my life up in a way to get to that yet. So it's all about understanding and knowing your role and eventually breaking out of it. But for the time being, like, don't risk your whole career. Don't risk your whole life. Don't say something stupid that gets you fired and you're literally ostracized from society for the rest of your life. So it's a sad reality we live in, but it's a necessary thing that we all have to do until we can establish ourselves enough to become self-sufficient, to become our own bosses, to become righteous. And you know what? There's going to be a day and age where you have enough money to say whatever the fuck you want, and go ahead and do it. But don't do it right now. Don't do it while your paycheck is reliant on someone else. Don't do it when, all it takes is a customer complaining and saying you were mean to them to get you fired, and now you have to go look for more work, and now you're not going to get a good letter of recommendation and this and that. And it's just like, there's so much bullshit that is behind this current climate of corporate structures, and it's so fake, and it's not ingenuitive, it's not intuitive. None of it makes any sense. None of it is coming from a good place. It's all coming from, we care about our profits, so we can't have bad backlash, so you can't have bad ideas. And it's like, it just baffles me that this is the world we live in, but this is a law that must be followed, and this is a law that I really can't emphasize enough, because I feel like this is the thing I'm constantly fighting after day. Like, I am constantly butting heads against this, because all I want to do is say my beliefs. All I want to do is explain why I have a certain perspective, but I have to hold it back. I have to watch what I say. I have to not act in a certain way and control my body language when I'm in a pointless meeting. And eventually it's going to end. Eventually I'm going to be at the place where, I can just say, fuck it. I'm going to go into my office and quit, and I'm going to smile. I'm going to say, I loved my time here, but I'm on to bigger and better things, and I have my own career now, and that'll be the day I rejoice, because that is the day I will be free. But until that moment, you have to curtail what you say. You have to act like everybody else. You can't be an individual, and it's just part of existing in society. And until you can get to the point where you have your own business, I'm sorry, this is how it's going to be. But again, I love this book simply for the reason that it has ideas like this, and it basically, it doesn't dispel creativity, but it's telling you, like, until you get to the point where you're self-sufficient, until you get to the point where you can just do whatever you want, and your paycheck relies on nobody else, like, don't do it. And this is a lesson I wish I learned so much earlier, because maybe I would have set my life up in a way where I could be self-sufficient, where I could be my own boss, where I wouldn't have to watch what I say or watch what I do, or, if I have to take a shit for 45 minutes, I can do that without people looking at me crazy. And I don't have to do that, but it's nice to have that option. I don't know why I put that in there, but it's staying in there. So I swear, when I go to the bathroom at work, people are just like counting the amount of times I go and counting the amount of times that, I go up and walk around. It's like, I don't want to deal with that bullshit. So yeah, pick up this book. Thank you so much for watching. I will catch you in the next one.